Welcome to Socialized. Assault. It's not exactly the best connotated word, is it? There aren't very many instances where assault is going to bring a smile to someone's face, or money out of their wallet. Willingly, I guess. But thankfully, humans have visceral reactions towards like assault, murder, or Ryan Lochte comeback. We tend to make these concepts illegal or socially inaccessible. And assault has basically always been so. Other than some very in-depth websites on mutual combat laws or George Zimmerman fan clubs, most people don't think assault should be legal. But we have a video to make, so you know that's not going to last. Enter Bill Ketron, white, Christian, male, and member of the Tennessee State Senate. Bill billed a bill onto the floor back in early February that basically legalizes assault, as long as it's with your car, and as long as the person you're assaulting is explicitly exercising their First Amendment rights in that moment. But Bill wouldn't tell you that, though. Bill would say it's about protecting drivers from those angry, dangerous rioters that clog our streets in the middle of protests. Now, after all, what kind of monster blocks a road to protest a felt injustice? No sane, rational, and level-headed demonstrator would ever think of that. Good protesters, nay, free speech advocates stay on the sidewalk. Indeed, he said this: protesters have no right to be in the middle of the road or our highways for their own safety and the safety of the traveling public. Funny thing is, though, they absolutely do. And even if you were to cite them all for jaywalking, last I checked it, you didn't have the right to run over jaywalkers because you were mad at them. And you still don't, because this bill passed, yes, it passed with overwhelming support, with language reserving this right to assault only in the case of protesters. Now, Bill would take issue. He'd say that the bill covers its butt with hands the size of the ones Donald Trump dreams about. See, this right only extends to drivers that exercise due care. If actions leading to the injury were willful or wanton, then there's no cigar for you. Just rolled cigarettes from your bunkmate, Jimmy Lee Lakes, who talks about viscera more than the average person. But there's two problems here. One is that due care is a legally useless term, and two is that the bill does not bother to define what due care actually is. It is, in the immortal words of Antonin Scalia, argle-bargle, useless, infinitely arguable, and thus immediately unfalsifiable. But this is not the first bill of its kind. Similar, and honestly more horrifying versions, have been introduced in North Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota for varying reasons. North Dakota's, for example, was introduced to legalize the killing of Standing Rock protesters, for example, after Representative Keith Kempenich said that a group of people defending their own private property was tantamount to terrorism. Yes, we're dealing with terrorism out there, he said. Now, Tennessee seems to be in response to this. See, during a recent protest in Nashville, around 6 demonstrators ended up bent over the hood of someone's car. The driver sped another 100 feet after that and parked at a Tiger Mart gas station. Now, keep in mind, that is before the bill passed. Now, bring into your mind the fact that the driver was not charged with anything. Now, it seems to me like drivers' rights are actually doing just fine. I don't think we need to add assault onto them. But this is really just one in a long line of stunt bills that people like Bill and legislatures as Republican as Tennessee's love to put up. They happen all of the time, and they aren't designed as good policy or to actually change anything. They're designed to make a political point that is often nasty and always punching down at the most vulnerable. Now, that is not a good look for anyone, and it is especially not for a state that prides itself on having a volunteer spirit. But next week, we're going to take a look at another lovely bill that saw not just clever naming, but a pedophilia controversy engulf it in flames. Thank you for watching.